I caught my wife's assistant cutting corners on the project. When he realized I'd found out, he tried to silence me by pushing me off a construction building. My wife, always the law-abiding one, actually tried to cover for him. She erased all the evidence, and when she held my hand by my hospital bed, she pleaded with me. Edgar told me he was just scared and panicked. He didn't really mean to hurt you. You're fine, right? So, for my sake, let's just pretend this never happened. Please, I nodded, handing her a document. All she had to do was sign it, and I'd let everything go. She thought it was the project approval form and signed it with a smile, praising me for being more understanding. She promised me that once things calmed down, we'd have a child and live a happy life. What she didn't know was that she had just signed our divorce papers. Part 1. Don't worry, Edgar, we'll vouch for you. Philip fell on his own. A voice rang out from outside the room. I glanced at my wife, Eva, who was sitting by my bed, as her assistant, Edgar, entered with the construction crew. Before they even stepped inside, I could hear the flattery echoing through the hallway. Edgar, you and Ms. Biles should really set a wedding date soon. Look at how her suitors are causing such a fuss. Don't you think it's time to put an end to their foolishness? Exactly. Look at Philip. He's a useless mess, and he dares to have feelings for Ms. Biles. Edgar's voice came through, lighthearted but firm. All right. We're here to visit the patient. Let's keep it down. That said, Eva and I will be setting our wedding date soon. We'll be sending out invitations, so be sure to join us for the celebration. The teasing and cheers outside were deafening. I glanced up at Eva, who was peeling an apple for me, her expression unchanged. Ms. Biles, you're getting married? Congratulations, I said mockingly. Eva shot me a reproachful glance. She was just about to speak when Edgar and the crew walked in. She swallowed her words, clearly unwilling to contradict Edgar in front of everyone. After all, she'd rather keep the fact that we had been married for 7 years a secret. She stood by, letting them mock me without intervention, simply a passive observer. Edgar, basking in the adulation, couldn't help but sneak a few smug glances at me. Philip, I'll send you an invitation. You should come. At that moment, every eye turned toward me. Edgar was 5 years young I was, yet these people were treating him like he was a figure of authority. It was enough to make me laugh. I smiled, my expression calm. Sure, when's the wedding? I'll be there. For the first time, Edgar was at a loss for words. As he fumbled for a response, Eva couldn't hold back anymore. Enough. Stop it. Don't forget why you're here, Edgar. Apologized to Philip. Edgar, usually indulged by Eva, sulked, clearly displeased by her sharp tone. He crossed his arms, muttering in resentment. Eva's rare show of protection made me feel nothing, because I knew she wasn't defending me out of guilt. She was just afraid that I might press charges against Edgar for attempted murder, and she was putting on a show for my benefit. Just as Eva was about to demand an apology from him, the workers outside interrupted, their voices rising in protest. Philip, you have no shame. You're the one who tried to seduce Ms. Biles and deliberately fell down the stairs to cause trouble between them. Now you have the nerve to ask Edgar to apologize? Yeah, you've ruined everything. You're the one who caused the delay in the project. We rely on this work for a living. You owe us money. Exactly. You must compensate us. You knew exactly where to fall. Otherwise, how did you survive such a high fall? The workers shouted at me, demanding compensation, but I couldn't bring myself to laugh. They all knew it was Edgar who pushed me. I was lucky I landed on the scaffolding, or I would have been dead. And yet here they were, twisting the truth right in front of me. The one who was shouting the loudest, I knew him well. His daughter was critically ill and needed money for treatment. Last month, he came to me, asking for an advance on his salary. I told him the company didn't have a policy for advances, but I still gave him $5,000 of my own money. Now, seeing him groveling before Edgar, I didn't blame him because only he had the decency to tell me the truth. When I woke up from the coma, the first thing I did was report Edgar for attempted murder. But when the police arrived, everyone had changed their story. They all said I jumped on my own.